Hello, hello. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I am here literally every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers. Thank you. You have kept us safe for years. And thank you to everybody in this community. You have been so kind to each other and so kind to us. Thank you.
Yes.
And if you're watching on replay, hello. Don't forget, you can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. Miss Sarah, it's Sarah Wednesday. It's the most wonderful day of the week. Yay!
Of course it is. I get to spend it with you.
There we go.
Yes.
But Miss Sarah will be timestamping as we go. So, okay. Well, now, is there anything going on?
Seems like a plain old day to me.
Okay, so on today's episode. Oh, wait. I think there's, okay. Let's see. We'll do a little switcheroo to really create the ambiance of what we're talking about. Okay, you ready? There we go. All right. Okay. So, on today's episode, since everyone in the White House claimed no classified information in any signal text, The Atlantic posted them in full, only redacting the name of the CIA operative. Thank you, Jaina. Thank you. Gifted 5 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you. Also on today's episode, a case has been filed in U.S. District Court this morning by the American Oversight Committee against Hog's Breath, Hegseth himself et al. It has been assigned to Chief Judge James E. Boasberg, the same Judge Boasberg who was overseeing the Venezuelan deportation case. And I agree with Valerie. Sage of the Scales Tarot. Do follow Sage of the Scales Tarot. Also on today's episode, a closer inspection of the timeline shows that Witkoff, one of the cabinet of deplorables, or he's an advisor anyway, shows that Witkoff, he wasn't just in Russia. He was with Putin. Okay. So.
You can't make this up.
No.
Why would you want to?
That's true.
I mean, I feel like this should be like on Naked Gun or Mr. Bean Spies or something like that, like Johnny English or whatever. Like this is, yeah.
So this is like get smart without being nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we dive in today, Linda Blue has requested some prayers. She is having a skin cancer removal surgery tomorrow. She said that since everybody was so awesome when she had her foot surgery and everything went great with all the prayers, she thought she would pop in again, and we wish you the best, dear.
Yes.
So.
Lewis, yes. Sorry. No. I just looked too quickly. I'm sorry. That was Lois. Sorry. But Lois just said, it's get smart without the smarts.
Oh yeah. All right, y'all. Let's buckle up, buttercups. Whoo! Goral has a question. Since everyone in the White House claimed no classified information in any signal text, the Atlantic posted them in full. Will anyone lose their jobs?
Oh, they'll throw somebody under the bus. It'll probably be
Mhm.
Waltz. He's the one who he's
Yeah.
only a policy advisor, and
Yeah, Waltz is probably Witkoff too. Maybe.
in
Maybe.
Russia talking
Mhm.
to Putin. Well, if he's talking to Putin though, then he's got a Trump trusts him. The dumpster trusts him. Trust that particular rat.
Oh yeah.
But and how mad, how angry have Gabbard and the other one have they got to be for that hearing where Hegseth and Witkoff weren't even there.
Mm-mm.
They were the two central people in this mess, and they weren't even there. And these people had to go sit there and get yelled at.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we know they're lying right now.
Their lips are moving. Yes.
Yeah. This I don't know anything. Oh, was it Ossoff?
Mm-hmm.
We love him. Where the guy was saying, I don't know, and he just said, yes, you do. Did this happen? Did that? I don't know. Yes, you do. Because it's stuff that's right in the Atlantic.
Right.
Exactly. They literally it was they. Oh, I didn't have a chance to read the article.
Well, you had a chance to read your text. I mean, it's
and they were called out on it. You knew you were coming here today to answer about this, and you're saying you didn't read the article.
Of course not.
They're doing what the emperor does, which is admit to no faults, no wrongdoing. 9 of Pentacles. So they think they're fine. They'll ultimately be fine because he's got their backs. But there's a Chariot here, and I have a feeling that this has some legs. And one of the main reasons is because there are, I think you were telling me about the military wives and the people in the military.
Yes, and that was one of the things that we'll be talking about later, like the Americans that are all erg. But yes, that's whoo. But next up, a case has been filed in U.S. District Court. Okay, y'all. So this is going up against Boasberg, who is already done with this administration stuff. Like he is done. So, and as I think it was, I don't know if it was Goral or Lewis or maybe both. We're talking about DC's going through it at the moment. So, how is this going to go? How will this, with Boasberg being on the case, what effect will that have on this?
My only concern is the number of cases that have been thrown out because something like the American Oversight Committee, them trying to say that they don't have jurisdiction or they don't have, they can't bring, they're not the ones who can bring the case or something. That's my only worry. Thank you, Julie.
It's very sweet.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Well, you want to look to see if this case is even going to case?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I needed a sip of tea.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just trying to make sure that I'm noting what we're looking at. So,
thank you. All right, this is a big deal, and there should be temperance about this. That's a little confusion, delusion. There's charity And Three of Wands is the far right waiting for their ship to come in. I hope it goes through. The energy seems a little muddled. But it's not because the judge isn't good. The judge is excellent.
Yes, we like him. Okay. Well.
Wait. Hang on.
Okay.
Please. Sorry.
No.
American Oversight Committee. Because, let's face it, they can do the government can do internal investigations, but if there was any wrongdoing, what, you're going to hand it to Pam Bondi?
Well, there's that.
Who is a nasty piece of work. Okay. Okay, definitely. This should have been a secret. This should have been hidden.
A little bit.
Not listening. Oh, who was it who just said it was a simple mistake?
Gabbard.
Oh no, it was a man. It was a man.
Oh,
I saw
another one.
pictures.
Okay.
Must have been somebody else, but it was like an old-timey GOP person who went after Hillary.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Those jars of mayonnaise start to look all the same.
I love you.
I love you too, my friend. Not listening. Just refusal to listen. The big old Wheel of Fortune and a moon card. And this is the thing. I'm not necessarily feeling the energy, but the cards have started recently saying that there's something big coming. But I'm not getting a sense what it is, and I can't feel the energy. But I keep coming up with these major arcana cards at the end. Like this summer, or there's something. Late spring, summer, I don't know. There's definitely something coming, but they learned from Trump. They're never going to admit wrongdoing.
No. And as you and I were talking about, I will note, I'm not getting my hopes up that this is going to, because history has taught us.
Yes.
But by God, is this not amusing? I mean, this just warms the deep cockles of my heart that somebody is at least getting a little bit of a verbal smackdown where we can all see. So,
right.
Patricia
is pointing out, I've never been in a text chat about war plans. I haven't either. Have you?
No. No. Of course, I tend to avoid group chats like the plague. So I would have just, as soon as I was added, I'd have been like, oop, out. Like, I'm Aquarian. I don't want to talk to people. But I'm also Aquarian enough to where I would have sat in the back and read and not participated and just been like,
oh, yeah. I'm amazed he didn't. In the chat, at least it said DEI hires. They're saying, they're calling it on social media DUI hires. And instead of, ScandalGate or SignalGate, they're calling it WhiskeyLeaks. I love that. And
did any of you on you've had the chance to read it? There was one part that tickled me where Vance was like, he was trying to push us back, and he's like, I'm just concerned that we're not going to be able to sell this to the American people, or something happens and this is going to get leaked and prematurely. And I'm like, yeah.
Gosh, it would be shame if this was leaked.
So shameful.
And this discussion is secure.
OPSEC, yes. Whoo. All right, Goral noted that a closer inspection of the timeline shows that Witkoff wasn't just in Russia during the chats; he was with Putin. Was this on purpose? Russia's been trying to crack the signal code for a while to get all up in our chilies.
Of course.
Yeah. So the fact that somebody just happened to roll up in the room where it happens with a phone.
It's so much more likely to be incompetence. But I'm pulling multiple cards here.
Oh, John, we think you're pretty wonderful too, dear. Very sweet. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you. They are birds of a nasty feather. This is definitely incompetence. That's incompetence and laziness. Anna says in the chat. Yes. Yeah. Waiting for their ship to come in. We're going to do this thing. And then you have this, you have a partner there who's on the other side. Wait, what? And Wheel of Fortune. They spun the wheel and it did not come out well.
No.
So my question is, was Witkoff like, oh, hey, Putin, look. That's more my concern.
Yeah.
King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. Glorified conservative flunkies. Or flunky. Fool in the middle. So dumb enough. Page of Pentacles. How to make yourself look like an idiot. Sharing something without getting something in return. 9 of Cups. And this feels like this will come out. It'll be in somebody's book or it will be something, but there's a lot more coming about this.
Oh yeah. There'll be a book. Yeah.
I don't know if he just handed his phone to the translator or what. Or he was just like, hey, Vlad, look what we're doing.
Show of good faith. You want to
show of good faith, which makes him look weak as all get out to Putin, who gives nothing without something in return. Stupid Americans. Putin's thinking.
Oh yeah. Well.
Oh, Bebo, thank you so much. Oh no, it helps a lot. Oh, thank you.
Y'all are so sweet.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris Cool. The world intelligence community must be feeling a wee bit, we'll get to that in a minute, betrayed in light of the White House thugs signal Houthis scandal. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Houthis? Houthis. Okay. Are there any Americans left that foreign intelligence does trust with world secrets, or has, Trump got the U.S. completely cut off now?
There are a lot of strings that have been cut, but a lot of intelligence is passed person to person through people you know. So partially it's a matter of how many operatives, how many people. Hang on.
You good?
Yeah. Ringing in my ear. Very strange. That doesn't usually happen. I don't remember what I was saying.
We're talking about foreign intelligence. And strings being cut.
Strings being cut, yeah. And the issue there is, do people feel safe enough to tell some, it's like a spy movie, or a James Bond movie where you're in a foreign country in a city and there's operatives, and you know who they are. And you have a history with Pierre or Joe Bob or whatever. Now, that information getting back to the dumpster fire administration, but it does feel like
established people may be safe.
Yes, we might still be getting some information from established people as long as the person on the other end giving the information thinks that our person has some discretion and maybe won't be in a hurry to share some things. But are we worse off? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. Well, yeah, this is bad. I mean, maybe if someone is used to getting paid for information, they might still share some stuff. But Trump, through his own awful actions, has done more damage to our country. And sort of truth is the sort of reality, which, yeah, we are less safe. We are right now. We are less safe.
Yay. Well, at 22 minutes, Americans, especially those connected to the military, are getting increasingly furious. Like you and I were talking about earlier, military wives are loudly, because that's their spouses over there. So, I mean, military spouses in general, but wives tend to be a little louder in this scenario. But that's their spouses over there. That's so there's I've seen a lot of GOP folks who are equally as mad about this, just normal, regular, everyday GOP people. So is this going to turn some folks that were solidly MAGA away?
In numbers that matter. In numbers, and any numbers that could make a difference. Wheel of Fortune. There are going to be people giving excuses. Well, you can't keep everything secret, and people make mistakes and oopsies, and the Kool-Aid drinkers are going to drink Kool-Aid. Ten of Swords. This is awful. King of Swords. These are people in the military and people with know-how who do know how bad this is. But I've still got far right victory here. Oh, Rose Blue. Thank you. Our eye is blacked shut. Now 4 eyes for a while. Oh, sad. But thank you. Let me see if I can get any more information.
Okay.
Is WhiskeyLeaks, this whole scandal, will this turn significant number of people in the military against the right wing? Yeah, to some extent. Of course, we're not going to lose MAGA. Not over this.
Right.
King of Cups. It also depends on who Democrats are putting up for office. Because if you, and this is so awful, if you really want their vote, spiff down at the dock near the country club. There's justice in the government. Well, this is making Democrats look better. There's a world card and the far right on the defensive. So, yeah, it definitely helps. It ends up helping Democrats, but
Valerie over at Sage of Scales Tarot brings up a good point. Should we be concerned that apparently Trump was the last to know about any of this?
Was he though?
Well,
yeah. Because normally when he's given a stupid question, not a stupid question, he pretends it's a stupid question. He gets angry if there's any kind of gotcha and he was very calmly saying, I don't know anything about this. This is the first I'm hearing about it. But there was a tension in the way he was saying it. Was he really the last to know? Or oh, no. Oh, no. The reporter thought she was the first to ask. But if you've messed up, certainly to that extent, you might think, well, Trump's off golfing. I can wait. No, it's his dynasty. Do you remember the TV show Dynasty?
mm-hmm.
If you're in that administration, you are a part of the drama.
Yeah.
And it's not going to end well for you. What I have here is, oh yeah, they had to tell him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's no way. I wouldn't even said this a few minutes ago, but reading on it, it's like there is no way he didn't know.
Right. Oh, thank you, Cha.
Thank you, Cha. Thank you.
In the timestamps, at first they said that he wasn't aware of what they were doing, and then the next day is when they said, they were talking about check with POTUS or we're good to go or whatnot. So he knew about the strike, but he also had to have been briefed before all of this happened. That, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Massive, mucho ketchup. Splat. So
splat. I love that.
Oh, all right.
Oh no, Joyce. No, of course Trump knew about the attack. The question is, did he know about this mess up that the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic was included in what is otherwise a top secret conversation?
Yeah.
And
raggy.
And then dump a female reporter at a press conference asked Dumpster about it, and he just said, I don't know anything about it. He does that weak, helpless voice thing that drives me crazy. Mr. Big Tough Guy, manliness. This is weak. You get this milk toast voice you get. Anyway, it's the first time hearing about it.
Yeah. He meant it was his first time hearing about the scandal of it being in the reporter in Signal as opposed to the thing. So,
and he wasn't going to come out and talk about it.
No. All right. Rocks, questions are full for today, but I would not be sad that Elon has not been mentioned much in the news lately. We're going to take that as a yay and keep rolling. But at 3010, Goral and retelling story, we're both asking, and from Goral's point of view, over here, outside of the U.S., we can read that the U.S. is no longer our ally. They despise Europe, per Vance's text in the chat. On the diplomacy front, what will this mean? Will the U.S. have any allies left?
Yes. Kaludi, thank you so much. It makes a huge difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I was when I read what Vance said in that text about Europe, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh, that's not good. Please, rest of the world, please understand that we're not all like that. We're not all like him.
Yeah.
There are at least half of us here who absolutely despise him with every fiber of our being. And we want to be a part of the world community.
Yeah.
Yes, Amy, he is. Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dud. You mean dud, right? Yes, he's Vance is definitely a dud. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Richard.
Mm-hmm. We used to be friends. But now you've got all of these awful, awful right-wing people in the dumpster administration that they have to deal with. And this is just this Seven of Pentacles here, Fruits of Labor, goes along with the Nine of Pentacles for the reading Sitting Pretty, which is the dumpster's delusion that because the U.S. has been a wealthy country, that somehow we don't need anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's a very common delusion, and I mean delusion, by people who are stupidly wealthy. Whether he really is or he's leveraged out the gills anyway. But they really think they got there all on their own. That they picked themselves up by their bootstraps that were delivered by a working class person and they got there on roads that were paid for with public taxes. And no, it was all me. There's a big old justice card and there's a strength card. They're getting tired of this back and forth overseas of looking at the US, but it depends who we vote in. If it is a landslide for Democrats at the midterms, and then a Democrat becomes president this next time, with a whole lot, like if we prove that this was just an aberration, but as long as we do that, but yeah, this is not good for anybody.
By golly, Ollie, thank you, dear. That was very sweet.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I should have said something.
Oh, you're good.
Thank you.
You're in the middle of reading.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, Amy, Albert, we've been talking about that drop all morning. Yeah, or afternoon. Okay. One last question on this. Yeah, on this. Crisco says, while we're sort of on the subject of the Yemen area topic, please look into U.S. energy in that Middle East vicinity to see if 47 is planning more things for Houthis. Did I say that wrong?
Houthis. I believe Houthis.
Soon. So are we done there, or are we gonna keep just mucking about?
I don't know why, but my brain It gives me a picture of an owl.
Oh, there we go.
Houthis.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Four Horsemen. Yeah.
Well, we do need to keep those trade routes open.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our, not all, but a lot of our bases around the world have to do with keeping transportation moving, keeping our shipping lanes in general open. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be an ongoing thing fighting against people who are acting like pirates.
Right.
Sorry about that noise. It's downstairs.
You're good.
Yeah, that's ouch. 10 of Swords. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yeah, big movements. Another great discussion amongst the flunkies, the billionaire flunkies. Four of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, High Priestess. They'll do a better job at keeping the plan secret. Yeah, it's going to hurt the people who are acting like pirates.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yay, we're out of that energy.
Yay.
Okay. Did you still want to keep the background? Because I know you were going to.
Oh. Okay.
Fine either way. All right.
We'll do a little mid-century modern abstract flowers.
Fabulous. 3715. Gleason G says, does the Democratic Party have a reasonable strategy to counter the onslaught of current policies?
Well, one of the things that is coming up is, I want to say as soon as May, the Republicans, because they're in charge of both the House and the Senate, they're going to have to raise the debt limit. And my understanding is they're going to need Democrats to do it. Now, the question is, are they going to do a Schumer? Are Democrats going to do a Schumer? And say, well, we can't risk the good faith of it's too big of a risk. So we're going to go along with these guys. Are they going to use that leverage? Because the Republicans are still fighting over their appalling budgets. So they could say very clearly, make a stand and say, look, you're not in this, your budget, you are not taking all this money away from Medicaid.
All right.
You're not messing with Social Security. You are not these basic things that people understand, that voters understand, and say, you take this out of the budget and pass that, and yeah, absolutely, we'll help you raise the debt limit. But if you don't, that's what they should do.
That's what they should do. But I think there's been enough. I think was so much blowback with Schumer. Yeah.
Well, but the question is, Schumer still has his seat. Schumer is still the leader. The leader of the Democrats in the Senate. If the blowback was that bad, the rest of the Democrats would have gotten together and said, we're choosing somebody else. But they didn't. Queen of Pentacles. Yep, there's that money. And the thing is, raising the debt limit, there are quite a few old-fashioned conservatives in there who really don't like that in general, which is another reason why Speaker Mikey, the heretic, and his ilk, why they may need as many Democrats as possible.
Mm.
10 of Cups, Knight of Wands. This is the Democrats hanging together. And this is the far right, who are going to have their own issues. King of Wands. Ugh. Dumpy. There's the dumpster. Because he has say over the budget. That's a lot of what Speaker Mikey the Heretic is trying to do, is do whatever the dumpster wants. Sitting pretty over a whole lot of money. Queen of Cups. And sit back and watch. Both of these cards are about Democrats sticking together, and it begins and ends with these cards.
Good. So
I think we might be feeling our way slowly to.
Hopefully.
But I don't know that there's one clear, decisive message. But I think one is starting to emerge.
Right.
But we're not entirely there yet. But this does feel like Democrats holding together.
Well,
again, you gotta see what happens to Schumer.
Yeah. All right. At 42, JD had a question. And I know you've looked at this before, but does Putin actually have video or something, actual compromising dirt on Trump that he's using to make Trump do what he wants?
Compromat. Honestly, I think I have never picked up on a tape of the most famous Icky thing. I do think Putin has information he could use, because dumpster is a dumpster and has done so many heinous things. What he does have, what I guarantee you Putin has, or almost guarantee you Putin has, is how Dumpy got out of bankruptcy. How he recovered when nobody would loan to him. Now, I don't know that Putin's ever going to actually release any of this information, but it could potentially get really bad about how bad it was, and the charity, and how beholden that money has made to Trump. Sorry, he was eating my plant.
Oh, no, you're good.
So he got tapped with a tarot card. Big old me. Just.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, at 44 minutes. Hello, Bailey.
The boo-boo.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't. Yeah, you.
Moi? Chris School says Greenland's leader says that JD and Usha Vance, he's coming now too, and Mike Waltz' upcoming visit is, quote, highly aggressive. The fact that they're coming to begin with is highly aggressive. Trump says it's friendliness, not provocation. He can say provocation. How much more friendly will 47 get before NATO steps in on behalf of Denmark? Before a little memo is sent going, dude, roll it back.
you know, I mean, yeah, no, you don't know, no, we don't know, but I think it's easy to assume that Dumpy doesn't view Greenland as something he can't take. Only 50 some thousand people there. We'll just, Vance can go there with his wife and their Secret Service detail, and Secret Service can just take over, or I would almost put money down that Dumpy has said stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we could just have people roll up and just take over. Queen of Swords. There would be a response. It would not be nice. Of Seven of Wands. Everybody who's trying to work on this for the Emperor is getting a face full of grief for it. But what the dumpster wants, that's what they work on. So there's a thief card right in the middle. And there's a plan. And the Page of Pentacles, which feels very weak. Yeah. Very weak. Like you can't quite get there.
Yeah, originally she was supposed to go to watch a dog sled race and something else and then come home. And then JD said, oh, well, I don't want her to have all the fun without me, so I'm going too. But now they're not going to the dog sled race. They're going to visit the space fort thing that we have up there. And I'm like, yeah. But no, it's scheduled for later this week. Yeah.
Hang on, let me pull 3 cards on how this is going to go. It's just going to come as a shock. I think Vance is going to be incredibly rude. I know. It seems like a stretch. Sure, absolutely. We're going to stir things up. Okay. Let me brighten this up a little. Being part of the cult, don't you want to join the cult too? Using your resources and then not listening to basic anything because you have the diplomatic skills of a seat cushion. Only not as nice. Yeah, this is, absolutely, because he's so full of himself. But the reality is just more alienation and insults. Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. I'm sorry, Miss Sarah. Thank you, Cindy. Gifted 10 memberships to random people in the chat. Yay. Thank you. So, yeah.
Okay, well, it is Wednesday, so time-wise, do we have time for one more?
Yes. Let me just have a quick, if you don't mind.
Sure. Thinking maybe number 10, maybe.
I was thinking 12.
Okay, cool.
Because Tammy's been asking for a while. Tammy Bailey says, you've seen that the military will be okay food-wise. And I did, because you asked and I looked. But where will the food come from? Will it be at the expense of regular citizens? I don't know that we're going to have a complete food shortage. I think things are going to get super expensive. But you just need some bad weather, which never happens these days.
Especially bad weather that we're prepared for, because we don't have any National Weather Service.
Yeah. And then, yes, Beth A, then we'll do a card for us. If you're wealthy, you'll be fine. There's Dumpy, who's never missed a dessert in his life. Hermit. Hang on. That was weird. It almost sounded like footsteps on the roof. Which would freak me out, but I don't think so. That was just weird. Okay. I got the 9 of Cups, though. So there is the merchants, and there's a display, and there's stuff there, in spite of what the Republicans have planned, which is not good for the average person. So I keep getting over and over the gap between the rich and the poor it's like pulling taffy, where you get one clump, and you just pull, and this one gets small, is a small, but that middle section was the middle class.
Right.
And the farther apart those you pull the rich from the poor, the more that middle class just dissolves.
Okay.
That's the problem we're facing. It's the massive inequality.
Right.
And prices going up. Oh, and by the way, did anyone hear how in Florida, to make up for the lack of farm workers, they want to lower limits on labor that children perform? More child labor.
Send the babies in the fields.
Oh yeah, and
in the orchards, yeah.
And teenagers, I had a part-time job. They should have a part-time job. And then you find out what the regulations they're cutting is. They're saying that these kids can now work overnight shifts, including on school days. But yeah, no, it's just like having a paper route. That's all. They are such liars. They are such liars. Okay, card for us.
Yes.
It just feels very stable and practical. Despite what all the noise and garbage that is put out by them, be sensible, be downright nostalgic of not just remembering how that when we're so worried about losing our democracy, but no, as in the sense of old-fashioned, being very stable. So stable, old-fashioned, use good judgment. The energy, it just feels very, very steady. Stay very, very steady. There may be a time when there are things we need to do or whatever, but it's just be sensible and be very steady. Okay? Whatever garbage chaos they're spewing. All right? So that's what we need to do. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us. But thank you so much for being here, Miss Sarah.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Oh, it's always a good day when you're here.
Wow. Happy to hang out with all of you.
Yes. And thank you, everybody, for being here. All right. So it's 1:10 p.m. here in Chicago and in Louisiana. And at 3 o'clock, Miss Sarah's going to start the creative sprints.
Yes.
And I'll be on as soon as I can. And other than that, I think tomorrow, let me think, where will I be? I think, I'll be right back here like I have been for almost every single day for over 5 years. I'm always here. Yay.
Y'all.
All right. All right. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, but you're not alone.
Mm-mm.
We are in this together.
Yes.
There are good days ahead.
Absolutely.
All right. Hang in there, and we'll talk later. All right. Bye.